hello, I have decided since I set up my ring light that I might as well film a couple more things. And instead of me saying, hey, let's do a little wrap up where I tell you guys how bad I am at things and how I haven't been reading, blah, blah, blah. Y'all already figured it out because I haven't been posting videos, which means I haven't been reading either. Although I guess it's true that, you know, they could be not accurate. But today I decided instead to share with you my overly ambitious September TBR. And when I say overly ambitious, I mean every single month this year, I have attempted to read a book a day. And every single month this year, I have failed gloriously within the first couple of days because I need a structure, I need a schedule, I need realistic goals. None of my goals are realistic, but I'm not bothered by it. I read very little in the month of August, and I think it's because I had no structure. So at least having structure makes me feel like maybe I will accomplish things. So I have many books, many challenges, and I'm going to tell you about all of them. So the first is the Invisible Cities Project. So I've got 6 books picked for that. We're doing Palestine and Chile in the month of September. Is that right? I hope so, because these are the books that I picked. So what are we doing in the month of October? Anyways, I'll figure it out later. So I've got Palestine by Joe Sacco. This is not by a Palestinian author, but it is the first book by Joe Sacco that I picked up, and he is a journalist, and so he does graphic memoir. They're not graphic memoirs. I mean, they do involve him going to these places and interviewing people and speaking with people, and like, you know, he's not just like writing from home. But yeah, so there's another one. There's a few that he's theoretically, he is fantastic. I can't say that with certainty because I have never finished one of his books. I have started another one about reservation, I think like in Canada maybe. But anyways, really want to read that. Another one that is not translated is Orientalism by Edward W. Said. This is nonfiction also with very tiny text. So, you know, but he is a Palestinian author, and everyone talks about how book this is great. How great this book is. This video is going to be so long at the rate that I'm going. So I'm really excited. When I filmed my video with like the books that I had from these 2 countries and posted it, I feel like a lot of people kind of like talked about that one. So I'm very excited. And then I do have Wild Thorns by Sahar Khalife, translated by Trevor Legasic and Elizabeth Fernia. I have no idea what this is about, but this is the only other Palestinian author that I have on my shelves. And I'm not trying to spend a ton of money right now because, y'all, I'm getting married and I spend too much money. So then the books that I picked for Chile, you're going to laugh when you see, but I'm going to try to finally finish The House of the Spirits by Isabel Allende. And the translator is not on the front. Of course not. Who could expect such a thing? Magda Bogan. I started this, I don't even know when. I'm like just shy of halfway. It's really good. No excuses. And then I have Nervous System by Elena Meruane, translated by Megan McDowell, whose name sounds familiar. That translator, I'm sure that I have read her translations before, but I cannot think of what off the top of my head. This looks weird and I'm excited to read it. And then the one that you're gonna laugh at, because you're like, Stephanie, don't you have like 40 books that you've started and not finished? Yeah, I do. Something like that. But I'm going to attempt to read 2666. I kill myself. By Roberto Bolaño. And the translator for this one's not on the cover either because heaven forbid we, you know, acknowledge that these are translated books. Natasha Wimmer is the translator for that. So... And you better believe it's the first one I'm gonna start because I'm so funny. I'm just an absolute riot. Okay, and I'm like doing something very precarious over there. All right, then I've got a bunch of goals, you know, so I am trying to read a graphic novel a month. So I've got Showa Volume 2, and you're like, don't you have Palestine over there? And I'm like, yep, but I've had this on my TBR almost every month Actually, all the ones that are goal related, I've had on my TBR for like every single month, and I haven't touched them. Ah, I knew that was gonna happen. Biscuits. So I just want to actually try to read these books. Then I've got a classic that I'm trying to read. I'm putting everything in quotes, not because these don't fit the bill, but because like this is me reading them is the quotes. So I have picked To the Lighthouse by Virginia Woolf. I don't know why. I don't know if I'm going to like Virginia Woolf. I've never read anything by Virginia Woolf. There's only one way to find out if you're going to like it or not. A is to try to pick it up. Then a nonfiction, you're like, Stephanie, you already showed us a nonfiction. I know, but the point is that I'm trying to read 30 books in a month, and so I have to pick books. So here we go. How to Be an Anti-Racist by Ibram X. Kendi. Obviously, this was very popular reading material last year. Jake listened to the audiobook, and he didn't love it. Hopefully, he remembers what his criticisms were while I'm reading it. So maybe we can have a discussion about it. Yeah, I don't know. I just know that everyone was like really hyped on this book, and now that the hype has died down a little bit, hopefully I can attempt to read it and, you know, not be, you know, when hype is big, things happen. Then I've got in my bullet journal, I have like a bunch of stickies with old books from my shelves. I added all of my books that I owned to my Goodreads TBR. By the way, I'm trying to move into Storygraph, guys, okay? I want to really bad, but it does take work and effort, and I already like migrated everything a while ago, but then I haven't been keeping up with it. So I am gonna at some point go back and attempt to do that, but I just like don't have the time right now because again, I'm trying to read 30 books in a month. I'm getting married in February. This house I want to organize. There's so many things to do, and so like Storygraph is not my main priority, and I've been working with Goodreads for so long. But anyways, where was I going with that? Right. So I added all the books that I own in November of 2015 to Goodreads. And so I have a lot of books. I have over 1,000 unread books, people. And a lot of them I've had since before 2015 because I had a book buying problem before BookTube entered my life. So again, I'm trying to read this. You're like, Stephanie, haven't you already showed that book to us? Yeah, because I started it and I got like 30 pages in, 22 pages in, and it's good. It is really good, but it's just really dense and it's heavy material. It's When the Elephants Dance by Tess Oriza Holt, and it's about, I don't know if proxy war is the right word, but basically, you know, the US were in the Philippines and then Japan was like mad and trying to like, basically the US and Japan were fighting in the Philippines and they, you know, were not kind to each other or the Filipino people. And so I'm really interested in that because I've like never heard about that, you know, like we don't really talk about the devastation that like occurred in the Philippines. So anyways, I am really interested in it and it was really good, the part that I read of it. Then I am also trying to like read books for podcasts. And so I have Exit West by Mohsin Hamid. Also, everyone read this book except for me probably. So, you know, add it to the list that I'm trying to read from my graphic novel, or my graphic novels, my lit journal. So I just like, you know, again, I'm going to say these books have been on my TBR every month since February. So that's why they're here. Then I've got a couple of book clubs. Two that I don't have is Mel's book club pick, which is Cubana, which is like a bunch of women, Cuban women writers. So it's another anthology. And then another book that is also, I think, for Hispanic Heritage Month or Latinx Heritage Month, whatever you want to call it. But I can't even think of the name of it, and it is for my In Real Life book club, and I did just order the 2 of those books today, so hopefully they will get here soonish. And then for Indie Press Project, remember Indie Press Project, how I used to talk about it on my channel and then completely stopped, which is disappointing because I missed 2 months where I didn't even mention the presses, and it was Fitzcarraldo and People Tree Press, which is disappointing because I don't even own anything by People Tree, so I'm gonna buy something or a couple things, but next month because again, you know, well, I guess at this point it's going to be September when I post this. So in September, I will at some point buy some things. But anyways, September's press is Arsenal Pulp Press, which is a Canadian publishing house. And so I'm going to finally attempt to read Butter, Honey, Pig Bread by Francesca Ekuyasi. And I heard about this book, oh my gosh, from the Poptimist, whose name is leaving my brain right now. His review of this book was so good. I think he was doing like a whole like some kind of Canada thing, I forget, where he was talking about different books, maybe for like a prize or something. And anyways, he sold me on this 100%. So I'm very excited to read that. And then I'm doing another like cute little project, which I feel like I've mentioned briefly. But so I feel really bad for the person who I decided to include in this project because I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to try to read Ken Torres by Carolina de Robertis. So yeah, I'm going to read it, I promise, hopefully this month. And then I'm just like filling out some space with some tiny cute little things. I've got a couple poetry magazines, and then Childhood by Tove Ditlevsen, which is part 1 of the Copenhagen trilogy. And this is also a book from Vinny by Post, and this is translated by Tina Nunnally, which also sounds like a familiar name to me. But yeah, I think maybe Michael said that maybe we would do the Copenhagen trilogy for his podcast. So I don't know. Maybe he still wants to do that. Then I've picked 4 rando books that I've started and not finished from my cart of shame. This Blinding Absence of Light by Tahar Ben Jelloun. I will eventually learn to look up people's names. We both know that I am lying probably. This is translated by Linda Coverdale. This was Invisible Cities project pick that I didn't finish. Then I have got Go Went Gone by Jenny Erpenbeck. Hilarious. I bought this book so long ago and started it so long ago. This is translated by Susan Bernofsky. This was up, oh gosh, translated in 2017, which means I probably started it in 2017. It was for the International Man Booker Prize when I was trying to read all the books on the long list. Hello, Please obviously didn't finish it. Then Frantomalia by Elena Ferrante, who I obviously am obsessed with, translated by, this is for Adam that I'm doing this. Is this not translated? It must be translated by Anne Goldstein. Yeah, by Anne Goldstein. Sorry, he made a comment about me doing that one time and it was funny. Then The First Wife by Paulina Chiziane, A Tale of Polygamy, translated from the Portuguese by David Brookshaw. And this was for, OMG, what country? Mozambique. Yeah, also Invisible Cities. Then the final batch of books is what I'm calling is books for shitty September. I was going to do Awful August, but then I was Women in Translation. So I know shitty September isn't really an alliteration. Maybe sucky September. I don't know. I've picked a bunch of books that I think I am not going to like. And these books I am mostly committing to, if I don't read them by the end of this month, they're gone. Mostly committing to that. I'm going to try to read them in like the order that I think I will hate them the most to like least, just because then I can DNF things and get them off the table quickly. And I am including these in my 30 books because a DNF counts as a read book in my opinion. I mean, it doesn't like count as read, but it counts as like removing from the TBR. So anyways, I've got The Help by Katherine Stockett. I already read the first line of this and I'm already like, are you actually kidding me? Taking care of white babies, that's what I do, along with all the cooking and the cleaning. I done raised 17 kids in my lifetime. I'm gonna give it a chapter, and I bet you, if you guys want to take bets down below, let me know how far into these books you think I'm gonna get, because that's some nonsense. I just don't even understand what made this woman think that that was appropriate for her to do. I just can't believe it. Then I've got The Beginner's Goodbye by Ann Tyler. I have no opinion on Ann Tyler. This was like the last book that I picked, even though in retrospect, there's definitely other things on here that I would probably dislike and I should have tried. But you know, who knows? Maybe I will be wrong. I doubt it. Then I've got Actress by Anne Enright. Again, this is just not my kind of book, you know? Then I've got The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. And I think, yeah, translated by Alan R. Clark. Yeah, we'll see how far I get into that. And then I've got Gilead by Marilyn Robinson, so I can finally discover if that book is at least good, since Jack was so bad. Then Memoirs of a Geisha, another like, what were you thinking? And are you kidding me right now type of situation, by Arthur Golden. I just don't know what makes a man think that he can write this book. And I am not that person that's like, you know, cancel, like, what are you doing? But what were you thinking? You know, what were you thinking? And then the last one is Rules of Civility by Amor Towles. I know this is like Olive from Book Olive's favorite book. I just don't think it's for me based on this cover. It just doesn't. It seems, you know, like there's a lot of adjectives in it. It just doesn't seem like my kind of book. So those are the books that I have picked. It was kind of fun picking books that I thought I would not like. And I'm hoping that I will DNF and like remove from my life forever. So yeah, that was it. I think this should be 28 books because I've got the 2 on the way, one of which I can't remember the name of. So yeah, if you've read any of these, let me know. Please don't tell me that I'm like putting too much pressure on myself in the comments, because this does not put pressure on me. I think it's fun. I know I'm not going to do it, but a girl can, again, hope and dream. I will talk to you guys another time.